Alright, welcome back everybody. I know it's been a little while again. I seem to do this thing where I just disappear off the internet for a little bit and then come back when I have something cool. So obviously I'm back, which means hopefully I would have something cool, which in my mind I do. Some people may not think so. But I have picked up another car. Now you might be asking, what happened to the HHR? That's gone. I had to get rid of it, out from underneath it. The more I tore into the car, the more I realized there was more and more issues that weren't actually told to me that the previous owner said were fine, but actually were not fine. So I scrapped that whole project. I sold all of it. I even sold the exhaust that I planned on doing with that car. The owner was like, you know what, that sounds like a really cool idea. I might try to do something like that. So I was like, you know what, fine. Here's the bumper, here's the exhaust. I'm not giving you the parts for the diffuser. They're actually in that box back there up against the wall. So I'm going to keep all those parts. I'll use it for something. Maybe on this new car. We'll see. But I picked up something else. Now this has been, if you know who I am on a personal level, this has been one of my obtainable dream cars, I would say. Everybody's got dream cars that are out the wazoo that probably none of us can afford in any lifetime. But there are a handful that we have as dream cars that are definitely more so on the obtainable side. Something that you could probably get with, not a crazy amount of money. And I have now purchased one of my obtainable dream cars. So I picked up the car. I've had it for about a week now, and I'm super happy with it. It's in pretty great shape for its age. It was pretty meticulously maintained by the previous owners. But I'm happy to dive into it. There's really not much I want to do or necessarily can do with this car because it's in a place where I'm very, very happy with it right out the gate. There's only some minor things that need to be done, and obviously maintenance comes first over everything else. But enough talking about it. I think I should probably show what it is now.
Life is this. I like this.
That's right. I bought a Mustang, and not just any Mustang. I bought the greatest sounding Mustang that you could ever possibly buy. This is one of my favorite motors and one of my favorite body styles. This is a 2005 first generation S197 body, and I think this thing looks killer. I don't think anything can beat this currently. But I was so happy to find one of these and to pick it up, and in the condition that it's in, I think I paid a pretty good price for it, and if I do say so myself. But let's go take a walk around. I'll show you what I got. So as I said, this was my 2005 Mustang GT. Now off rip, you can tell looking at it, it definitely has some stuff going on with it. Most notably is the paint color. This is not a factory Ford color. This thing had been repainted. What the owner has told me is the paint code is under Destroyer Gray or Battleship Gray, and I think it is a fantastic looking color. Now, it's not all perfect. This is, again, a 20-year-old car. It's going to have some minor issues here and there. However, the paint, after I think it's been on the car about 4 years, looks pretty good for a 4-year-old aftermarket paint. But I would say this paint has held up pretty well. There's a couple spots here and there, but other than that, it's a pretty good looking color. Now, obviously, most notably, it has some exterior stuff that's been done to it. This is the Cervini fiberglass 3-inch cowl hood. These are Shelby GT500 wheels of this same generation, 9.5s in the front, 10.5s in the rear. We have a rear GT500 spoiler. These taillights, which I can't seem to figure out where they're from, they're not factory taillights for this body style, but they're like a weird hybrid of the 2010 to 2012 body style, but on this car. And quite frankly, I really like them. They're growing on me. I wasn't the biggest fan of them at first, but they've been growing on me and I like them a lot. Other than that, it's got some minor ground effects. I'm not sure where they're from, the front lip or the side skirts or anything. Not exactly sure what they are. It's got aftermarket front lights. It's got the bullet grille with these little, I think they're supposed to be fog lights that are little LEDs, but those have since been cut. I went underneath the car and there's no wires connecting to them anywhere, so they don't really do anything besides just sit there. But exterior wise, besides the falling apart banner, I think this is the only bad part of the exterior on the car, Exterior wise, I'm pretty happy. Oh, yes. It does have 2010 mirrors. So the next body update they did for the S197, which was in 2010, saw different mirrors, and those have been transferred onto this car, which I personally like these mirrors a lot. So I think it adds a really nice effect to the car. It looks very, very nice. Interior wise is pretty much stock. The only thing that has been really done to it is it has an aftermarket steering wheel. Ford Performance Sparco wheel, which I've grown to enjoy. I wasn't sure about it at first because it's obviously very much smaller and much closer to the dash than the driver, but I've grown to like it a little bit. It's starting to grow on me. Interior just has some car seat covers. These are gonna go. I did take the rear seats out. I'll explain what that was for in a moment, but it does still have full rear seats. One thing that this car did come with when I picked it up was another set of taillights. Now, I'm on the fence about if I want to run them or not. They are your very generic Raxiums, more of the S550 body style taillights compared to this body style, but this side doesn't work for some reason. I plugged them in, that side flashes just fine, this side doesn't work at all. So I'm on the fence on if I want to send them out and get them redone to see if I could fix it and put it on the car, or leave the ones I have on it, try to do something with them, maybe tint them down a little bit so they're not as bright, but I'm not sure what to do with these yet. Obviously, I still have the seat from the Fiat. This has been sitting here collecting dust since that car blown up. And obviously, I still have quite a few parts left over from that as well. This, I definitely want to transfer into this. All I need to do is get another seat bracket, and it'll bolt right up and pop right into the car. I know I picked a great time to buy a gas-guzzling V8 with all of these gas prices the way they are. However, it does pretty well, so it can make it one whole week on a single tank of gas. So it does pretty well for a gas-guzzling V8. Just to give you a nice look under the engine bay. Needs a little bit of cleaning up. I think I need to get a new filter. This one looks pretty shot. Cervini aluminum tank, obviously because of the hood. The normal coolant tank, I think, sticks a little too high for what's up front. I don't know if that's the actual case or if they just wanted to do it just because. It does have some wiring things going on. If we take a peek under here, I don't know if the camera will pick it up. There are two boat horns that are sitting in the front right behind the grill, and that's the wiring for that now. However, they don't work at this current point in time. I don't have a switch for it, so I'm not really sure what the deal is with those. I want to try to get them running again because that would be really nice. And as you saw, I don't have a horn at this current point because I have an aftermarket wheel. It does have hood pins because of this aftermarket hood. I guess this hood piece doesn't close down all the way. Other than that, it's a pretty clean looking car. AC condenser was just replaced. The clutch was just replaced roughly about 5,000 miles ago. The original color was red. As I said, it's not the perfect paint job, but you can tell that the original car was red at one point. Other than that, this car only has 117,000 miles on it, which for a 20-year-old car, I'd say that's pretty good mileage. It's definitely on the lowest end mileage-wise of the price range that I was working with for a Mustang. For a nice little daily driver that makes fun V8 noises and is a manual and is just fun to drive, look no further. And this is also my first rear-wheel drive car. I have not had a rear-wheel drive car on this channel or ever my entire life. Everything I've bought has been turbo, 4-cylinder, front-wheel drive cars. So this is completely out of left field for everything I've shown on this channel so far. Now, for an exhaust setup on this car actually has a decent exhaust that's been done to it. The first major thing, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it, it has Cook long tubes headers. Cook's long tube headers, and it has a Cook's X-Pipe, off-road X-Pipe, and in the back it has Flowmaster mufflers. Now you might be thinking, wow, a catless X-Pipe and a long tube headers, but Flowmaster mufflers? Yes, this thing is actually pretty quiet. However, the coolest thing I think that this car has to it is I have a valved exhaust system. I'll show you later what that looks like, but if we go back onto the inside of the car, right there, I have a little switch that I can actuate, and I can turn the car have the valves open for the exhaust or closed. Closed runs it through the Flowmasters. It's very quiet, very subtle. I use it mostly when I'm leaving early in the morning or coming home late at night because I actually respect and like my neighbors of where I live. So I usually have that closed, but if I'm just out driving during the day, I will most certainly have them open. If it's open, it is basically a straight pipe from the headers all the way back. There is nothing in between. There is no sound deadening. It is just headers, X-pipe, straight out to the dumps. They do dump down right behind the mufflers and right underneath the rear bumper, so the noise is on the quiet side only because it's not getting pushed out of the car. The noise is kind of getting caught underneath, but still it sounds very, very good. I'm very happy with the sound of the car overall. But I'm super happy with this car. I have always wanted not necessarily just a Mustang, but a 3-valve. That has been the biggest thing I've wanted, is always a 3-valve. And there's always one particular person that has been the driving force behind getting a 3-valve. Now, obviously, I keep mentioning that there's a specific person that has always kind of been the inspiration behind getting a 3-valve Mustang, and that is my really good friend Morgan. You've seen him on the channel before. I'm pretty sure I showed off the Mustang on the channel before that he currently has. But he has had 3-valves for as long as I've known him. I've always enjoyed all of his cars. He has cams in this current one. It's on air suspension. It is a custom color that I believe is from a 1970 Shelby. I will correct myself if I'm wrong, but that color is beautiful. It is a very, very nice looking car, and I have always loved all of his cars. He's been the biggest inspiration for me to get a Mustang, but more specifically, a 3-valve. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows with this car. There are a couple things that need to be addressed. One being something I already went over, which was the horn. I would like to have a horn because I've already had a couple instances where having a horn would be very, very beneficial. Number two is when we picked up the car about a day or two after, I noticed some clicking in the rear that I didn't notice on the test drive and the day I was bringing it home and such and such. But I noticed this weird clicking in the rear and I wasn't exactly sure what it was. I took it over to Morgan's and I was like, hey, help me diagnose this clicking. So I had taken the rear seats out. I'll post a video of what that sounded like, but it's pretty substantial. And it really only happened on bumps and when I would apply torque to the car. When the car would torque itself, it would click. And we're looking, and we discovered that my diff mount, the mount that holds the top of the differential to the bottom of the car, the top bushing is basically blown out. All the grease that's in there is just shot out the sides, and the rubber seems to be falling apart. And that is connected straight to the car, and that clicking is super, super loud. So I went and bought one from BMR. This is what it looks like. This bottom part here connects down to the differential. This top part is up by the car. Now obviously this is a greased bushing in here, and all the grease was blown out of the sides. I can't really see this rubber at all, so it's either deteriorated or it's just covered with the grease that's blown out of the side. So I'm gonna head over to my buddy's shop. We're going to pick this car up in the air, and then I can show you more of what's underneath this car that was not told to me. I don't even know if the owners I bought it from knew. I think it was done by the owner before them, of all of this stuff that's underneath, which is good because a lot of it was preventative maintenance thing that I wanted to do, but since it's already been done, I don't necessarily have to worry about it. So let's go take a ride over there and we'll get this part swapped out. All right, we're gonna head over to the shop real quick and get this part swapped out and show you the underside of the car. But it's not a cold start, but I'll still start the car. I currently have the valves opened, so we'll start it up and I'll have you guys hear what it sounds like. Alright, got the car up on the lift, so these are my cutouts right here for my exhaust. So obviously it flows into here when those are closed, but when open, they just dump straight out to the sides. Now this was all the extra stuff that was really nice to see. We got a panhard bar, aftermarket sway bar. I have trailing arms, and then if we look here, I have a single piece Ford Performance aluminum drive shaft, which is really nice. And after driving Morgan's car and this car, I can feel the difference between the factory 2-piece and the Ford Performance single piece. Here are my Cook's X-pipe and the long tube headers. I don't know if my camera has the light for it. That right there, all that grease has been pushed out of that point, and we think that is where my clicking is coming from, which would make a lot of sense. That bushing doesn't look the greatest either, but I think we can get away with reusing it. But we'll find out when we take this whole thing apart. You guys are crazy. I hate you guys. This is why I don't film in front of people. So per Discovery, we got the other bolt out pretty easily, and we're messing with that one, and the whole thing's loose. So the entire thing is shot. It's not like it's hand tight on there, but that is 100% the clicking noise I'm getting in this freaking rear end. That's kind of wild that it's that loose. Very unfortunate. Do you want to show your arm? Yeah, this is what happens.
It's nasty up in there.
Yeah. All right, so we got the bolt out and then realized we got to drop that whole bracket because the bolt just barely doesn't have enough clearance to come out. I didn't think about it. The other bolt that looks like it's under the gas tank is actually through the top point of the car. So luckily we can just climb up, undo it, and then we'll do these bottom bolts as well and just drop the whole unit out. We're gonna send the lightest and smallest person into this vehicle first. No, it's in the, yeah, there you go. Once again, do not try this at home, kids. Here, see.
Are you getting an undercoat shot of me?
No.
Oh, shit.
That's why we don't try it at home. And just like that. Also, I discovered I have a nail in my very, very bald back tires. The tread's basically painted on there at that point. Those I gotta get changed out. All right, so we got old one out. This is the new one in comparison. Slightly smaller unit up here, and obviously it's got a little bit of a different design to it overall, but you can see how chalked this was and the fact that this bolt was loose with it too. So we're gonna get this new one up in there, put the bolts back in, we'll clean everything off, and yeah, hopefully my clicking noise will go away. If this doesn't, I'm gonna be very, very, very mad. All right, new part is in. We got it all greased and everything that we need. Everything's all snugged. We Loctite everything down, torqued it all. So I think this should get rid of the noise that I had in the rear, and hopefully it did. And this arm is a little bit smaller, thickness-wise, compared to the old one. But this is a BMR unit, so I'm not worried about this at all. But yeah, we'll get her down, take her for a little spin, make sure there's no clicking, and I will call that job done. All right, so the clicking went away, which is great. I don't hear anything going on back there. And actually the car feels a little more solid because that whole rear end isn't moving around now that that mount is perfectly in place where it needs to be. So I will be pushing out some more content with the Mustang. There's a couple things I still want to do, one of which is just getting the horns back up and running so I have working horns. The other thing I've been like kind of throwing the idea around is I really like the GT500 rear and front bumpers. I kind of want to put them on the car. So I don't consider it an up badging. I'm not going to be calling my car a GT500 at that point. I don't have a GT500 motor or a GT500 interior. So I think if I just did those bumpers, they're a little more extra styling to them. The front bumper has fog lights down towards the rear, and the rear bumper just is very subtle. It has just a tiny built-in diffuser that's in between the two exhaust tips. It's so tiny most people don't even realize that it's there. So I kind of want to do something like that just because I think it would look really nice on the car, especially the front bumper. We'll see how it goes. I'm not completely sure if I want to do it. I'm not just going to be putting out Mustang content either. I do have a couple other videos I want to make with my friends' cars. One of them being we got to do a head gasket on his Honda, so I kind of want to film that. I know it's not that exciting, but when the three of us are together and we're working on cars, some goofy stuff happens, and it's bound to happen. So I think I'll make some videos about that. And my other friend has a Nissan 300Z, a 1990 300Z. And his car is actually really nice. It is an automatic, it is naturally aspirated. However, Exterior wise, it's in decent shape for its age, kind of just how this Mustang is. So I kind of want to put out some content with their vehicles because they also have some stuff they want to do, and I just enjoy making content in general. I don't care how many views I get, I don't care how many likes I get, I probably get no comments anyway. However, I just like filming the stuff. It's fun to me. So if you guys want to see more, or if you're interested in seeing more, you know, go ahead and hit the subscribe, hit a like. Let me know down in the comments if you guys really enjoy this new car as much as I do, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
And I'm feeling good.